Formula One now, the summer break is officially underway, but Carlos Sainz was still busy today. The Ferrari driver will join Williams Racing on a 2-year deal for the 2025 season. The 29-year-old Spanish driver was on the lookout for a seat after losing his spot to 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Sainz will race alongside Alex Albon for a Williams team that hasn't won a race since 2012. Now, Sergio Perez is reportedly staying with Red Bull for the rest of the season. This comes after team principal Christian Horner told Dutch journalist Eric van Haren that they look forward to seeing Perez race on circuits that he's had success at in the past. The 34-year-old signed an extension until the end of 2026 season that came back in June. With more, we bring in our racing analyst, Tim Hauraney. Despite all the discussions and a team meeting, Red Bull reportedly opting to stick with Sergio Perez for the remainder of the season. How surprised are you?
Oh, Adam, I'm blown away. I honestly thought that he was going to be replaced, like a lot of us thought that he was going to be replaced over the summer break. But, I mean, obviously, when you're having a team meeting on a Monday following the Belgian Grand Prix with Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, there clearly are struggles and pressures that are being put on Sergio Perez. And if you're Red Bull Racing, you're essentially saying you are tying your Constructors' Championship hopes to Sergio Perez, because Max Verstappen is always going to be there. It's Sergio the one who's been really struggling over the last few races. But then if you look at this from the flip side, I think it probably would have been Daniel Ricciardo who would jump up and who would have replaced Sergio. And then as a team, you have to wonder, how long would it have taken to get a driver like Daniel Ricciardo up to speed? Would it have taken 2 races, 3 races, 4 races? And at that point, you have to do the math on how much championship points are you going to be bleeding to the likes of McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, who are hunting them down. And then I also think there are financial components to this as well. Sergio Perez has a lot of sponsorships, and a lot of them come from Mexico. The Mexican Grand Prix still on the calendar as well. So I think when you factor all of those things in, I think that's why they've decided to stick with Sergio for the remainder of the season.
Meanwhile, Tim, Carlos Sainz signing with Williams. He passed up opportunities to work with teams like Audi and Alpine. Now, Williams is one of the legacy teams of F1 with a history of championships. Sainz believes that they can get back to that level and compete with the elite teams. Do you?
Yeah, I think they can, Adam. I mean, I think the fact that Carlos turned down a works team like Audi, where he does have some ties to that team, and decided to put his trust and faith into the Williams team, I think speaks volumes to what's going on behind the scenes at Audi and what's going on behind the scenes at Williams. You know, I've sat down and spoke with James Vowles quite a bit over the past few seasons. He's only been in this job for 18 months, and he has really turned that team around. He's taken them from a team that was at the back of the grid. He has them now competing for just getting those championship points, and also extending that contract with Mercedes to get their power units and some of their components on their cars for the foreseeable future is a big deal. If you take a look at 2026, that regulation is going to be very engine dependent. And from what I'm hearing, the Mercedes engine is going to be very strong to start off 2026. So if you're Carlos Sainz and you see that, and you see that Williams is also going to have Mercedes engines, it keeps your face towards the front of the field and in the mix of all the conversations. So he could maintain that competitiveness, and then also could use this as a springboard to go somewhere else.
Formula One returns to the track in late August at the Dutch Grand Prix. Tim, thanks for this.